I think we're live. Hello, everyone. This is the Ninja DC, bringing you a bonus episode of Fimscripted to discuss the most recent sneak peek of Equestria Girls 3 Friendship Games. With me today is Alex.
Hello, I'm one of the Brony analysts, a herd of Bronies.
Cadet.
My name is Cadet Redshirt. I'm a up and starting voice actor and artist in the Brony fandom.
Jennifer.
Hello, I'm Jennifer. I'm amateur VA and amateur artist in this fandom.
And John.
Hello, I'm John. I'm a hobbyist voice actor. I make comic dubs and general videos for online viewing.
Alright. Now, today brought us several things with the sneak peek, but it started out with the actual shorts that we've been watching for the past month or so. Actually, we had earlier preview of them with the Spanish subtitles, and we're just waiting for the English to catch up. But we had a few of those shorts thus far, and let's just discuss them. What are your thoughts on the shorts? Favorite ones, favorite moments?
Go ahead, sorry.
Personally, I know for me, one of my favorite moments was the Mortal Kombat reference, just because I missed that in the original Spanish leak that happened for it.
Yeah? Which one was that in? Was that the Lyra and Bonbon one?
Yeah, the Lyra and Bonbon where it does the fight.
Alright, I thought that was a Kill la Kill reference or something. Someone posted about that.
I think there might have been a reference for that too, because like a lot of them do different references. But
Yeah.
I know for like the Pinky Spy one, how she said a cat burglar, but that so looked like Attack on Titan thing, like basically the waistbound grappling hook moving thing.
I was thinking Splinter Cell with the special night vision goggles. That was just personal.
Oh no, I mean I think that's what they were going for, but like just the way they had the grappling hook is like that seemed very Attack on Titan, because like Attack on Titan's the only one that has like the grappling hook on the belt sort of thing for the maneuver gears.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, sorry guys, I just came out of a huge lag out and I missed about a minute of audio. I didn't hear what anyone said.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
We missed the discussion where we mentioned the meaning of life.
I know.
We talked about the cure for cancer.
Yeah.
And we said ingrown toenails are caused by demons.
Well, at least the episode will be posted on YouTube, so I can hear what you said.
Yeah.
Busted, guys. Oh man.
Yes. Yes, it will be.
Totally caught red-handed.
Unless Ninja DC, cut it.
Edit in post.
But Alex, what are your thoughts on the recent shorts for the Friendship Games?
I don't know if I saw all of them or whatever. Like, I might have missed one, but you know, they're pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, was the most recent one just basically the song that was in the 10-minute short?
I can't remember because like I didn't see this one like in English. I think it was the one with basically Flash Sensor and them not. It was one of the ones I actually seen when it's Spanish released, and
All right, I haven't seen that one. Maybe.
I'll admit to not being that interested in it just because like it didn't have the main six. I was like, I'll catch up to it, but like it was on a lower priority.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to say my favorite one is gonna be the photo finish one. Absolutely fantastic.
I agree.
Yeah,
I really like.
I know it's gonna be filler. Yeah. I mean, sorry, it's not gonna be canon, but yeah, it was just a hilarious little short.
Yeah.
I loved it that photo finish was back again and in full force. And it was constantly like, stop! I go!
Yeah.
It was pretty fun. I would have loved to see what kind of picture she took of Principal Luna.
Yeah, you know, her changing up the sandwich for a even better looking sandwich.
Yes.
Just reminds me so much of those, you know, brushed up air photos that you see for like McDonald's adverts, you know.
Oh yeah, like I think it was even on a Cracked article they did like how like for the latte like photos like it's actually like glue
Oh
making the
yeah.
little like they use glue to make like the foam
Special shine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
foam
Yeah.
art and whatnot. It's like yeah you probably actually it would have been a funny joke if they would have had it in there where he actually takes a bite of the real good one and like he like opens it up and it's like cardboard or something like that.
Oh my gosh, it'd be terrible.
Oh,
Colored cardboard.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
boy.
When they panned over it, I had to do like a double take at Cheerilee's photo. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What just happened?
What happens in that one?
For the photo finish one, she actually is she's like very sexy librarian in that photo, and I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
did they do
I don't
that?
think I saw that one.
Ooh.
Goodbye.
If you look it up, I'm sure it's there. Because I was
Yeah.
like, holy cow! Let me just rewind for a second and double take because it was
Which short was
very
that?
much stood out with how much more
was the
detail it
photo
had
finish
compared
one.
to the others.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
really good. I love the scene in which there's the guy in the gym and photo finish because there's a sports. And all of a sudden he starts shooting.
Yeah.
I just loved it that he brought her back for and gave her own short. That was great to see.
Oh yeah.
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 Which actually sort of makes you wonder, because I've been trying to figure out how, because you know how you can't use the toys to exactly predict things in the show, but usually it hints at stuff in the future.
Uh-huh.
And like there has been a photo finish and like it was like I think it was part of the Pony Madness or something like that, Pony Mania, that was it.
Oh, yeah?
And like they had her released for a while, like she was just basically some background things, so this sort of adds more context to that.
Mhm.
So just wondering because like two other toy things are being released, but I think even exactly under Pony Mania was like one's like the Chrysalis toy that's been floating around Quester Daily.
Mhm.
The other one's basically this Fluttershy toy that has basically extra large wings or whatnot.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if that's basically going to be like a short within the series.
Hmm.
Because remember, I think there was one of the leak, not the leak things, but Megan released like the bingo card for like the shorts, and one of them was basically Princess Celestia as a changeling queen, as like a changeling in disguise or something like that.
What?
What just happened?
A door opened?
All right.
Mm.
I've got a ghost.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's the Changeling Queen.
Everything's really laggy on me, and it's like everyone's kind of sounding robotic a little bit.
That's on
That's
purpose.
funny you say that because you sound
Um,
robotic on mine.
I feel like going back to where it left off. Basically, it was on the bingo sheet where I forget what it was like. Basically, it's stated as Celestia is a changeling spy or something like that.
All right.
So
Wow.
I'm wondering if that's how they're going to work in Chrysalis in some way in the short or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically, like a mini story that gets wrapped up within that one thing.
I can't really comment. I haven't seen this.
Oh, it was basically on Equestria Daily. There was like a bingo sheet for the shorts.
Ah, I see.
I will try to recommend how like Equestria Daily is weird when you try to use Google to find like old articles in it.
Yeah.
Like because like you think it would work and just go straight to like the thing that's you directly referencing. It tends to not. That tends to be like the fifth one down if you're lucky.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Can you really fit any more shorts in? I mean, isn't the movie coming out like next month?
Yeah, like the 28th. Or no, it's 26th. At least it is. I think it is still a 26, right? Or
It is
Yeah, I
the.
think so.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I was just making sure you guys like requested time off for it, like just so I have time to see it live. I was just like, nope, they didn't change that.
Oh
But
shoot.
yeah, I was just saying like I think there was enough time for like I think 4 more shorts, like at least 3 more shorts sort of thing.
Wow.
Because remember, like you're thinking up, but like remember the original question, well, not the original, but like Rainbow Rocks had basically, I remember they had each one for all the main six, so there's like six right there. Then
Right.
you had that one for, then on top of that they also had the for vinyl, and
Mhm.
then the one that was a general like fair thing.
Yeah.
A lot of them were just the songs with like basically a music video vibe for them
Yeah.
Yeah.
that had nothing tied to the original movie at all,
Hmm.
or the new movie that was coming out. So it's like,
Well, maybe the
Yeah.
Sunset Shimmer one was kind of I think the Sunset Shimmer one was kind of like a bridge in between.
Wait, are you talking about? Yeah, you're talking about the post Rainbow
Past.
Rocks Sunset Shimmer one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
past is not today thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually I was thinking like maybe that one could be seen as kind of a bridge from Equestria Girls into Rainbow Rocks, or maybe afterwards.
I think that was more after because like she was still trying to find her place in Rainbow Rocks. Is sort of after that she became a full part of the team.
Right, right.
Hmm.
yeah.
And actually, speaking of like the toys thing, that was another toy from like that. I don't think it was from Pony Mania, but it was from the Equestria Girls. Toys was like the Phoenix winged sunset.
Hmm.
I have
So
not seen that actually.
I was like one of the. I would say just go to Pony Mark. It's like this website called Pony Mark that has all of them listed.
Mhm.
But like I said, I was just thinking like because they're trying to figure out how they're going to work in Chrysalis, and I'll get into this when we actually discuss the sample because I'm starting to think like they won't be involved within the episode, the movie.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking they might work in like Chrysalis and this butterfly, Fluttershy doll might be worked in the shorts instead of the actual main thing.
Hmm.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to rejoin the call. Everything's still laggy on my end.
All right, we'll just be. We still have a few more minutes as we're just discussing the short sort of thing.
Mhm.
So
He's
now-
already gone.
he left.
He kicked it out of here. He hightailed it pretty quick.
All right, but that was just like my thought. How they might integrate that because they had basically some of the shorts before, then some of the ones after. So thinking that's how they might work that in. I'll get more why I don't think those might necessarily be when we get to the actual 10-minute sample we had. But any other thoughts or highlights from the shorts so far for you?
Uh,
There we go. Everything's fixed now.
I don't know. I mean, I thought they were all very good.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I noticed that the animation is getting a lot more concise, which is nice.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
They're getting better flash in the show and movies.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like they're really stepping up their game. I'm actually a lot more excited for this film than the last two. It's
Yeah, me
strange.
too. I
Mm.
was actually gonna go see it in the theater, and then they're like, "It's a worldwide TV premiere," and I was like, "Great."
I know, it's
I mean, actually, I hate that, but I like it at the same time. I hate that because I really did want to see like Rescue. I was looking forward to it. It was one of the movies I was most looking forward to in the fall.
Yes.
To like see in theaters, and he's like, not, but at the same time, it's easier to see it in
Yeah.
TV.
it's
It's like I hate it, but I sort of like it at the same time.
I
Yeah.
know, it's such a strange phenomenon to think that a film like this could get better with each sequel. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It really is weird to think
Well,
about it.
I think it goes back because I broke this down in one of my videos for like season 3. In season 3, like the writers were like extremely rushed for that season. That's why it had a lot of flaws and whatnot.
yeah.
And I think that also transitioned, like that also applied for the movie as well. Basically, the movie and also season were so sort of like rushed out to meet deadlines.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, Megan McCarthy is a fantastic writer. I've known her for, great writing in Foster's for other shows. Yeah, this was just not her best work.
and so I just think like basically the first movie was rushed along with season 3. Season 3 had some of its good moments, but it was just more rough as
Oh,
I
yeah.
describe it because I still consider like Keep Calm and Flutter On is still one of my favorite episodes of the entire show.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, like some of the, like individual episodes, it's just like the complexity. Like well, I can't remember. Was there 2 or 3 Spike episodes that were questionable?
Well, you mean in season 3?
Yeah,
There was the one I think
I
he
know there's the pets one, and then there was also the
Wasn't there
service
Spiky
one.
Service?
Yeah, can't
ah yeah,
remember if there's a
Spike
third
Eater
one as
Service.
well. No, there's only 2 now. Remember. Yeah, back to Tangent Point. Yeah, I just still felt that one was more rushed along with season 3, but like the second movie got plenty of time, and I feel the third movie as well will get plenty of time for them to develop it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And actually, you can sort of see this in the show itself because we're having a mid-season break. So
yeah.
it seems to me like that Hasbro has realized that, okay, we can release the show somewhat from our predetermined schedule because it's making us a lot of money right now.
Exactly, yeah.
Because I honestly believe like season 3 was intended like long ago to be the end of season Generation 4.
Yeah.
Because like they plan out these things, like these billion-dollar toy companies, they plan these things out in years in advance.
Right.
And then afterwards they're like, yeah, we still needed to basically have Princess Twilight at this point, but keep it going. Yeah, because they were sort of making us like,
It's gotten so big that we don't want to end it just yet.
yeah, they're like, it'll be just like, it's trying to get out new toys is understandable. They want to try to do that, but it's like, there'll be like the stupidest marketing decision ever to end it at season 3, just because like it's basically you captured lightning in a bottle, keep it with you
Yeah.
as long as you can. Like yeah, that's this long tangent point. They had a lot of time. The third movie should be pretty good.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, I guess if you have no more, or anyone else has any comments, we can move on to the actual 10-minute sampler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
So what are your thoughts about, like, at least I believe, pretty sure it's the first 10 minutes of the Friendship Games?
I thought it was great that Rainbow Dash was rallying up the crowd with that song, and yeah, it was interesting. Like she, I guess it's going to become a new term, ponied up in front of the whole crowd, and no one's like freaking out. Like, wait a minute, why is Rainbow Dash floating all of us? Is she a witch?
yeah.
But it was fun. It was great that there was a song in the in that 10-minute scene. It gives a good preview of what to expect. I definitely enjoyed it. I was bobbing my head to the beat, and yeah, it was great.
I personally had like 3 points that I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I need to talk about these. My first one was the fact that they, like, well, 2 of them are sort of tied. Well, they're all tied together, of course, but the first one was that Rainbow Dash is actually friends with the drum major from the band. We didn't see them interact with other characters in the previous 2 movies. Like, it wasn't like a big thing. This one, you see it happen where they're like together and they're like totally into it, and they're getting everybody hyped up, and then she like waves bye to her when she goes to talk to the other girl. So I was like, oh, it's nice to see that just a little bit even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second thing was that Rainbow Dash definitely shows her loyalty in that scene, her element of loyalty, because it gets kind of confusing with her, because she's a little bit on the fence about some stuff. Like, everybody's always talking about her laziness overriding her loyalty capabilities, but that one was very evident in the song, which I thought was nice.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And then the third thing was that I feel like Daniel Ingram went up to the animators and said, okay, we need a snare drum, we need a drum major, we need a flute. Like, just going down the list of everybody he used to make the actual track. Because I was like, okay, wait, this actually sounds like a marching band. What happened? What is this? And then the curtain opened up and I was like, Like I totally geeked out about it.
Hey, can I be the first to say the amount of kids in that marching band is not a proper amount to make a marching band.
No. But I mean, it was nice to see that he used the
Yeah.
animators put in the correct instruments and kept everybody in tempo, and it was nice because I'm one of those kids. I was a band kid for like 3.5 years.
This coming from the guy who's going to marching band camp in literally 2 days.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to marching band camp in college.
All
Yeah.
right.
Well, which oh, never mind. That's a question
University of Rhode Island.
for
I love the fact that they actually used a marching band. I was thinking somewhere in this musical lineup there has to be a marching band somewhere, and
Absolutely.
yeah, I was the
I
same.
was upset that they weren't in the last 2 movies.
Yeah, I was at first. Well, you know what? Actually, if you in season 4, in season 4, you can hear it in the song "Hearts as Strong as Horses."
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if there is a marching band out there who will perform that song, that will be awesome. But the fact that we get to see one actually at the school, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like the perfect setting to actually have some sort of a musical program, and they didn't utilize it in the first 2 movies.
I know, right?
I was like, seriously?
Yeah.
I felt like that was missing in the second movie in Rainbow Rocks.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
They should have done.
why do you not have this? This is a high school situation
Right,
that is
yeah.
like an absolute staple, if anything.
Exactly.
That is the one thing that you need in a high school at this point.
Well, who
Rainbow Dash
knows?
is really good at pep rallies.
Yeah.
It's the only time we get
I
to
just
see
thought of
them.
a Rainbow Dash motivational speaker.
Rainbow Dash.
motivational speaker who lives in a van down by the river.
Probably have to put a loudness warning in the video for YouTube.
Oh boy.
Absolutely perfect. or she could just pull Shia LaBeouf and be like, just do it.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Oh my god.
I wonder how that song would turn out.
Actually, somebody's done an auto-tuned version of that funny speech. So of that speech, I mean, someone's done an auto-tuned version of that speech, but they've also done like electronic mixes of it.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Oh goodness.
Anybody notice how small that class was though?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah. I was like, jeez. Apparently the whole city is split in half, so there's,
Well, from what I understand from the
point of
trailer,
the movie.
from what I understand, the trailer like that seemed to be basically the more suburb school, and basically Crystal Prep is the one from like the more actually within the city limit area.
Yeah.
I bet they're the private school.
They're the private school.
Yeah, well, it is called Crystal Prep. It is a
Yeah.
Yeah.
private school.
See, little Bobby, this is why you go to Crystal Prep and not Canterlot High.
Yeah. Weren't there a bunch of other schools though? That they mentioned?
Like what?
I don't know. One of the shorts they mentioned like a third or fourth school.
I think they might have mentioned one, but I think the general idea is basically Crystal Prep is sort of like the high tier like school that basically sees themselves as above every other ones in the area.
Yeah.
Which
And I
then
mean-
being a prep school would make sense since they would have the best of the best sort of thing.
This is starting to sound like the fourth Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh.
I have no context. No context as to what that is.
Yeah.
What? Harry Potter? Really?
Yeah, I haven't read or seen any of it.
All right. Well, in the fourth Harry Potter movie, there's it's called the Goblet of Fire, and basically all these schools from different parts of the wizarding world come together to face different challenges for a tri-wizard tournament sort of thing. Um, it's kind of like what's happening now, you know. Yeah.
Well, I think actually the friendship game though it seems to be more individual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, just focused on basically Crystal Prep versus the Shadow Boats versus the Wonder Cult sort of thing. They
Yeah.
said only every 4 years, so I'm wondering if there's basically sort of like the Winter Olympics versus the Summer Olympics where there's friendship games, but there's only this one every 4 years.
Yeah, it's supposed to do that with like the Equestria games since they had that episode come out
Right.
in the fourth season. So it's
Every
like
4 years.
Yeah, it was like in the trailer they mentioned like every 4 years, so like they're saying that's why they're
All right.
explaining it to the class because
Yeah.
you know like even if they're like seniors, they wouldn't have ever experienced it.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
You know that kind of makes you know, Sunset Shimmer. I mean, in the short, I noticed that she, you know, doesn't know what this event is, and that kind of bugged me at first. So yeah, that makes sense. If it's every 4 years, that would fall into the timeline where she, you know, just first came through the portal.
Yeah.
One thing I like about Sunset Shimmer is that in the short, my favorite was the short with her and she's testing out the magic and when the girls play and such. And she's constantly getting like I don't know hurt
Yeah.
by them. She's either been like dumped with apples or electrocuted or rainbow or splattered with rainbow paint.
I know. Or what was the Pinkie Pie one? She just gets yeah.
The Pinkie
Something
Pie, I forgot what the
explodes
Pinkie
inside
Pie
the booth.
one.
Yeah, they're really bringing out like Sunset's character when like within the shorts and like Rainbow Rocks, they're really developing her character a lot.
The
I was
past
actually pleased that they gave her like a small wardrobe change because of that. You know,
Yeah.
like it's a subtle thing, but it's nice to see.
I loved it in the I used to think like Sunset Shimmer was like she was a really great villain, and then she got redeemed, and I remember seeing the My Past Is Not Today video, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, and
Yeah.
I seen Rainbow Rocks, and then the Past Not Today, I'm like, oh my goodness, that is my favorite. I have to say that is my favorite song so far of what I heard. I absolutely just love that song, and it's a great message too, and and yeah, it was a great kind of kind of like new rebirth for Sunset Shimmer. I also like it in the short that you see how kind of a little bit how her student style was under Princess.
Yeah, and how varied they were.
Right.
Her and
Yeah.
Twilight.
Was the one, and I noticed a little dig. I don't think it was intended as a dig, but a little tiny dig when she was like, "Some can just study ancient books," and I'm thinking, I was like, Twilight, but she's like, "I like to get into the field and get my hoofs, hands dirty."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, they like they were basically geeking her out, giving her like a more unique personality, which I appreciate.
Agreed.
Which actually I'll eventually get into my depiction, but because I believe like for me like because the first basically film structure usually within the first 10 minutes you have all the core points of the story basically laid out.
Mm-hmm.
And basically for going from this like short because it was 10 minutes, I predict basically the core thing will be the games. Like a lot of that is just the obvious basics we get. But I think a core thing is like the core characters are going to be like in this one probably Sunset Shimmer, Sai Twy, and Rainbow Dash. Just from their presence, Rainbow Dash might just be just because she's given initial motivation, but again, first 10 minutes sort of thing. She was the one that got by far the most attention.
I think
Besides Sunset.
I think one of the things that's going to play a big role is the fact that we saw Luna mention that they don't want the magic to interfere with the game.
Oh yeah, that was actually
Sunset Shimmer is going to be very important in the games somehow because she doesn't do that despite being redeemed and everybody, you know, accepting her with you know,
Yeah.
the previous movie.
That
So
was
she
actually
still
one thing I
doesn't
was
have that pony up thing that everybody
Actually,
else does.
yeah, she does. Remember, it was in End of Rainbow Rocks. They had that, and also the short with her where she got her phoenix wing sort of thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, Sunset Shimmer is Jean Grey.
Sunset Shimmer, the guitar playing, science making, motor crossing human.
But
Now a Phoenix.
going back to that though is basically I think like Sunset, Saitwar will be the main ones, possibly Rainbow Dash because it's very sports themed. She basically being always the one that gets basically her role like she was during the Equestria Games, all those episodes are connected where she's basically the motivator.
Yes.
But like actually as for the games themselves, like I think the big plot point will be for Sunset basically trying to prevent Equestria magic from spilling over and whatnot. I have a feeling at one point throughout this they're basically they're going to be sort of almost forfeit the games because all this magic shenanigans are happening, even though it's not their fault sort of thing. There's always that point in all these 3 films where it's basically this principals don't believe and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Another part I believe that's going to be this is actually why they transform without the instruments sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I probably believe it's going to be basically the power of friendship, whatever. Basically, when they have friendship from others, basically believing them and basically collects into them sort of thing.
Right.
And basically, with the music, it was basically that's the most concentrated, direct way to do it.
Well,
But when
in
you
the series we've seen so far, they've like made it a point to say to get your key from before it was to help someone else learn your talent or your element. So that might be what's happening with the Equestria Girl people. Is there like with Rainbow Dash, she just did it because she sang with them and showed them her loyalty to their team and helped them realize their loyalty to the team.
that actually
So
would
it
be
might
an
be because of
interesting.
that.
That would actually be an interesting plot point. Like I basically agree with that. It just depends the exact formalities, but like going off your way, like an interesting way with that throughout the episode, basically each of the main 5 that are here, basically at one point shows off their element and basically transforms through that.
Yeah.
Probably I guarantee it'll be a song sequence for each one if they do go that route. Which I would not complain about, but
That also might be how they come to the ending
realization.
conclusion with Twilight and Sunset Shimmer having their sort of dual thing, because that could be where that comes from. I don't know, that's just me talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I think that actually is a very interesting idea where they show off their elements and basically that's how they basically transform.
Yeah. In terms of talents, I mean, I guess I would like to see a small portion of it kind of spent on them developing their skills for the games, because like, I mean, for the last couple of movies, it's like I can accept that Rainbow is really good at soccer, and then I mean, yeah, she can play guitar, that's fine, but if I don't know, I feel like in this one, if she has like some other special ability, like we've seen in the toys, where she can, it's like suggested that she's like a motocross or whatever it's called. It's like I just think that's just way too many things to be really good at. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it was already sort of it was already sort of though established basically that she's captain of like all the sports teams.
Yeah.
So there at least is some precedent for her being super gifted with all that. I think that was
I
in the
guess.
first movie.
I think one of the things. Oh, sorry.
I was just going. I was like going to spring up. Like I actually do like what you're talking about. I do hope they sort of show how some of them are talented with it. Particular for me, Fluttershy, not just because I'm a big Fluttershy fan, but also just because her thing is archery in some way, which I'm just curious how that, if there's any fun backstory behind that.
Yeah.
But what were we saying?
Oh, I was gonna say that one of the things that sort of lacks in terms of Rainbow Dash is we don't know what her life goal is. Like we've seen it with the Pony World, where Rainbow Dash really wants to be one of the Wonderbolts, and Rarity owns a dress shop. And we've seen it like carry over with Fluttershy and Rarity and Applejack, of course, but we haven't really seen what Rainbow Dash wants in
Though to
terms
be
of that.
fair, we haven't really seen that with any of the main, like the alternate main six.
Yeah, I mean,
Because like we know Rarity likes fashion, but she never said she really wants to open up her own shop sort of thing.
Yeah, like we've never heard it, but we've seen that she does do a lot in terms of fashion. We've
Yeah.
seen that Fluttershy does a lot in terms of animals, but we haven't seen what exactly Rainbow Dash does other than the band.
No, we see she's like basically captain of all the sports team.
But like, how does that apply to like after high school? That's what I'm wondering. Is like
Well,
what?
she's just very athletic, which if you really look at the Wonder Colts, they're sort of like basically a combination of military and athletic team sort of thing.
that's one thing I've always quite liked about the Equestria Girls series. You know, I mean, they are essentially the human versions, and I think the missing element is definitely magic. It's what's made the ponies a bit more mature, and they know exactly what they want to be very early on. But these are just typical high school girls at the age of 16, still not sure what they want to do. I mean, I'm 27, and I'm still not really sure.
Yeah.
Going sort of off that, like that's one thing I have to often remind some other analysts and whatnot, is that like the alternate main six, they are sort of this, they are the same characters, but they're not the same characters. They haven't gone through the same life experiences that the rest of the main six have, so they're not as developed.
Yeah.
And you often have to go and, like they often complain. I think one of the biggest ones for the first film, and I actually think the second film as well, was just how obnoxious Rainbow Dash was. And it's like, but you have to realize she did not go through any of the stuff that happened in Equestria.
Yeah.
And it's just so like they have to realize that that's like they're the same personality, like core characters, but like they haven't gone through the same life experiences, all adventures and whatnot that the main six have. They're basically more normal high schoolers.
That's what puts people off, really, in terms of it, because we've gotten so used to the ponies that it's like you see this as in the world that we're in, and you almost don't like the characters because they're not the same. So it's like I can see where that would put some people off from watching the movies, but I'm glad that the movies are getting better as we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of the one possibility with that is because there was that leak from the Hasbro, not even a leak, it was just promotional, how they have like the Legend of Everfree, which it'll be interesting if they basically turn it into basically the Equestria Girls basically becomes a Magical Girls weekly show sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that would be because it would bring the magic, which I think the magic would, if properly implemented, which I think it will be, because that seems to be a big plot of the throughout the movie is going to be like basically magic leaking into this world, which I think might add enough spice to it to be where it can stand on its own as its own series, like weekly series and whatnot during like Pony off season. Compared to basically the first film, the biggest problem with the magic is it basically is literally within the last 5 minutes it shows up pretty much. I mean, it's sort of better in the second film, but like that's just one of the biggest issues. It's basically, it just feels more Deus Ex Machina just because it's so like an afterthought at the end. But if they actually make the magic, which they seem to be making magic more and more a constant of this world, that actually might be a good theme for if they do take into a weekly series that's basically like a Magical Girls show sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be good to start after a third movie.
Do you think that that's where they're going to push everything now? Because I mean, we're getting near the end for the actual Ponyverse.
I mean, I think that is the most likely because we know Legend of Everfree is a thing that's happening. We just don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. We just know its name and basically that there is the Equestria Girls figure in it. But the reason I say that like it probably is a weekly series is just because I believe they're not going to make any more of the movies just because they've been downplaying them more and more each time in sort of like widespread release.
Yeah, is this one even getting a theatrical release?
No, it's not. It's not at all. And the reason that part of that is because there actually is the official My Little Pony movie coming out, I think still in 2017.
Oh, yeah.
So basically Hasbro, they don't want to basically have in the audience's mind basically that, oh, this is something that's been happening already. They want to sort of distance themselves from it and make the actual official movie a bigger thing. So they might be downplaying like Equestria Girls from basically a small theatrical release to a more TV audience. Which would make sense because it also allows them basically have more toy sales with that than like a once a year thing.
Yeah.
Because basically Hasbro weekly cartoons to sell their toys has been their hallmark of their entire company for like since the 80s.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But back on subject, so what do you like think we can like anything else you can leak out from the 10-minute sample?
I don't know. I think we covered a lot of it.
I'm
Yeah.
really curious about like what that world's Twilight is what our connection is going to be in all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, that's the one thing that surprised me. I thought we'd at least have like a minute or something from like Crystal Prep.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of connections, she is the luckiest girl in the world to get on 2 buses simultaneously within a minute.
Seriously, especially in the suburbs. It's like, what? In
Yeah.
the city, it would be perfectly appropriate within 15 minutes. But
Yeah.
that was ridiculous. Bus ex machina.
Yep. Bus ex machina, perfect.
What?
Bus ex machina.
Yeah. Bus ex machina. That's what I said.
Um,
I'm sorry, John.
I know. Bus
Did I offend you? Did I say something wrong?
No, you didn't say anything
I'm
wrong.
confused.
No, not like the kilt babies thing. That's nothing.
What?
um,
No, that was quilt versus kilt. I was flabbergasted that happened.
Yeah, nah, I didn't take offense to that.
but actually, going back to the bus thing, the way I took it is basically that Saito basically calculated everything down to like the second sort of thing.
Yeah.
So like she planned to go there, check it out for like 59 seconds, then head back and get on the bus that's coming to the other direction.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's why I just basically took it.
Possible.
It's essentially
It
Twilight.
looked like she was planning to stay longer, though.
So I just took it that she basically planned like the escape to quickly come and go. Because basically, Twilight is not exactly. She's basically all. She's not what Twilight that's been out of her developments and whatnot. So she's probably not as bold and brave and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess so.
I've seen a couple of excerpts with her in it, and you're absolutely right. She's not exactly like that. She's very. It seems she'd be very analytical. She's almost like, I don't know. And I don't want to say like Twilight was in season 1, but.
No, that's definitely what they're going for.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they're
Yeah.
basically something in between Twilight from season 1 but not as extreme. Basically in between Twilight from season 1 and Moon Dancer in season 5.
Oh yes.
Not exactly as far and basically pissed off as Moon Dancer, but more basically isolated sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she's a very analytical mind, and so she's constantly, thinking of theories and
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I want to know her motive. Like, why does this matter? Like, what does Canterlot High mean to her? Like, if something's happening, she's a Crystal Prep. Why would it matter to her? What's
Well, what I'm wondering is why is she in the games at this point?
right?
I mean,
Right.
in order to meet the people that go to Canterlot, probably, but how does she make it in to be part of the contestants that are in the games? Like, how does she do that?
I'm just start
Yeah,
calling her
yeah.
Twilight Born. I'm sure she can find a way.
I think
Yeah.
there's my two theories with that is like there's two possibilities. One is basically it's just a general basically group of kids, so it's not too hard for her to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is basically we see in one trailer thing where there's like a science board filled with stuff. So some of the competitions might actually be in academics, so they might actually have her there for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third is basically she gets another one sort of going. Actually, this sort of goes in the other two. that she's actually, like you were saying, is there to basically just study the magic of it, of Canterlot.
Right.
Yeah,
And
but in
actually,
one clip,
another
Just
one
to
actually
see-
goes into that why she might be more involved, because I think another possible, because there's various possibilities. Basically, one of the behind the scene things we've seen, you're losing the control with the magic sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, what I believe, because like if you freeze frame like right there, you can also see what looks like the principal of Crystal Prep.
Cadence.
Oh.
No, it's actually not Cadence. It's some like old looking lady that looks crystally.
Oh.
That's why I said like it's not
Before Cadence?
Chrysalis or Cadence. That's the principal. It's actually some new character. And like I say, you know she's a principal because her design looks horrible.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm not joking. It's like the exact same like design. Like I don't know what is it with the principals because they have other adult characters on in like the Question Girls that they've shown. They all look basically normal how you expect them to, except for the principals.
And
I
Granny
don't know
Smith.
why.
Yeah.
And Granny Smith.
No, Granny Smith looks pretty normal too. Like she's not a horrible design. I find it's just like the principal is just basically They look like monolithic like elves, where it's basically they have like no. You know how some of the elven things, it's basically like their face is like lacking of any sort of like distinction. It's just
They're
basically
very pointy.
not pointy,
Yeah.
but basically just like white paper where it's just so lacking distinction.
So pretty much no expression or anything.
Yeah, sort of like that. Like
It might not be important in that case.
Also the lipstick. The lipstick bothers me.
They kind of remind me of Charlie's Angels. I don't know why. Just something about it screams 60s, 70s, you know?
70s.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, we do see him.
Well, basically, backtracking again, I was just saying with basically at that when she does that magic moment, she might be like basically using whatever device she has, magic item, artifact, whatever, to seal one of the magic leaking, and basically Crystal Prep, the agreed to continue the games, basically says, okay, we got to keep her on here basically as our anti-magic cheating thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, I wonder if it was given to her purposefully so that she could open the portal because she has a tie to everything, just
Yeah,
like
that's
the other
one-
ones do.
Yeah, that's one thing I wonder because like when you see her studying like the actual portal, well, she has basically a not a seismograph, a radiation detector sort of thing.
Mhm.
But like in the future samples, we see she has basically an amulet that's sort of like she's using, which actually seems to be less technology and more magic. So I'm wondering where exactly she gets that.
Yeah.
Probably the girls that are in the games, maybe. Because we've seen their character designs, they're very unique from what I've seen.
Yeah.
The main, there's three of them, and then her and a dude. I don't remember exactly what, but that's possible. There's also the possibility that it came through on her side somewhere, and she found it, and then used it to study, and then everything started happening at Canterlot High, and that's what got her interested. You know? Could be something like that. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know exactly. They didn't give us a plot point. They just gave us the opening part.
Yeah. Yeah, just going I so lost my train of thought. Someone else pick it up, please.
I think they did it on. They purposely kind of missed, didn't take out, didn't expand on that Twilight, because I'm thinking she's got a big role. I'm thinking she's got a big role in this, and it's gonna I don't know, blow the whole story wide open or so.
Yeah, we do know she can use arrows.
Or that's the thing is and she looks like she can. That's the one thing is I feel we know the one other student that's doing there's 4 students for the archery basically I forget Sour Sweet we actually know she's actually good at from her sample where she fired 3 arrows at once. Then we have Fluttershy, AJ, and Twilight. I'm thinking AJ sort of makes sense. She's basically a rough and country girl, so she knowing archery sort of makes sense just naturally. I have
Yeah.
I have a feeling basically because they'll have some funny explanation why Fluttershy is very good at it.
I know. Why would Fluttershy have it? It's like archery is completely the opposite of what her character would be.
I have a feeling
Yeah.
there's going to be some sort of funny story behind that. At least I
Yeah.
hope so, because otherwise it's just so flat. Well, if you look at the thing with Sci-Twi there, she seems to be failing the actual athletic part of it.
Mhm.
So that's why I said she might be sort of drafted
Yeah.
in less because of her abilities and more of her anti-magic abilities sort of thing.
I would like to see where Sunset Shimmer is living, because we haven't actually established in comics
That is a
or
very good point.
Yeah.
Like,
we-
where would she go? I don't think there's probably an alternate Twilight or an alternate Sunset Shimmer somewhere in there,
I
maybe.
know, because
Because we see an alternate Twilight, and it's like, where's the alternate Sunset Shimmer? Does she have parents there? Did
Right.
something
yeah,
happen?
Yeah.
Just showed up one day?
did she live in an orphanage or something?
Maybe
Did she live in the library?
Maybe there's a third school somewhere. Maybe she goes there.
Does she live in a van by the river?
Yes.
Oh no.
Sorry, that just it just came in my head.
I had a weird theory once that she, stayed in an orphanage for a while and she met Flash because his parents kind of donated stuff to the orphanage, and then they broke up shortly after that. And that's just a fan fiction theory.
Maybe she goes to like Everfree University or something.
Everfree University. Well, I mean, we don't really have much on Sunset Shimmer's pony story anyway. Unless you read the actual comics, but even then, there's not as much as we would probably like.
Yeah.
Free University,
Yeah.
the most misleading name in
Yeah.
the whole of education.
No, all of your time is not free time. You still have lectures and stuff. Please go there.
No,
Stop
you will
bunking
not get to
class.
study for free. You'll have to pay for the nose.
Yeah.
Stop staying in your dorms. God damn it.
You have to go to class.
Yeah.
Go to class or the vines will get you.
Go to your 8 a.m.s and such.
They'll
Or the
stop
vine-
them with their windows. Don't worry.
Meet by the Tree of Harmony at 6 a.m.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
And
first
don't
lecture,
drink. Oh wait a minute! Don't drink this. Don't drink the poison joke.
Yeah.
First lecture led by Iron Will.
Yes.
Motivational speaker.
Or better yet, one by Sakura.
That would be interesting.
Just all be one big poem.
Yeah.
Pass you shall not do this year. Very likely you shed a tear.
That's good.
Yeah.
The title is it misleads. Here you are not ever free.
Yeah.
And that actually would be another
That's a
interesting
little
route for Everfree. If like it went to a show, but actually was basically based on them going to college.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I was thinking about like Everfree actually would be an interesting place for like a college and to take place there. And also I was just thinking like the vines and all that. That's like describes all old school like New England's thinking style colleges where it's basically overrun with vines for some reason.
Right.
Actually, that describes the older section of my college pretty well.
Wait a minute, New England. You must be thinking of some different thing, because at least I know that URI's not like that.
I could see like there's a Crystal Prep. What if there's a Crystal University?
Exactly, yeah.
But if you were to think about it, they might, because I was thinking like what age they are basically in high school. I was thinking they might actually be. I'm pretty sure they're probably either juniors or seniors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they're seniors.
Yeah.
I was thinking
if
like
you're going off the photos from the first movie, there had been like 3 dances that Sunset Shimmer had been queen of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
the only reason I say I don't think they might. I mean, they might not actually be seniors is just because they showed Big Mac there before, and he even looks older than AJ.
Mm-hmm.
So unless he's basically they're actually both same year, just that does actually happen. But I was just thinking, but again, like time passes, they actually could be seniors now, sort of thing.
Yeah.
was Big Mac actually in this preview?
Um,
Not
I
in
Because
this.
thought
what if he graduated
That's what I was
already?
just saying. It could be they
I would have thought
were
Big Mac was.
juniors. I was just
Yeah.
saying they could be juniors in the first movie, but like since time changed over the movies, they could be seniors now, sort of thing, which
I,
would
I
I
go
think all
to
of these
Everfree.
movies actually happen roughly within a year. I
yeah.
don't think they're that far spaced out.
I'm gonna
I
say not right now, but basically enough where we cover some time overall when it builds up, sort of thing.
mm-hmm.
But I think they might be seniors now at this point. Again, going back to the 4-year reference sort of thing.
right. Which means they could graduate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go, Trottingham University.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Perfect.
That'd be really funny, actually. What would they call it?
Well, actually,
'Cause Baltimore in real life, anyway.
The Twilight Secret shipfic folder has an expansion pack called Ponyville U. It's like Ponyville University.
Oh.
Hmm.
Cantonment University, maybe.
Or that.
mm-hmm.
Or just call it Equestria University.
Or that, too.
Or whatever the heck the city they're located in is called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't think they've ever stated the town or city they're in.
Right.
Yeah. I always
It's all
figured.
centralized around the school.
I know. I always figured that the school is like the only place to go, and then there's like this giant bubble like under the dome. They can't go any further than the school.
Oh, that would kind of suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you mean self-aware, or?
I don't know. It's like, eh. I guess it's because they didn't really expand on any places other than the school and this little cafe that they went into.
And Pinky's
And
house.
Pinky's
Oh
house.
yeah, Pinky's house and
And then the dress shop, but
yeah,
that's
the
it.
dress shop.
Right.
I think that's actually the dress shop is Rarities.
Like house?
Yeah, it's basically a house, their house, and how it's basically one of the things where it's a store, but also the upstairs is a house sort of thing.
Yeah, like she could live upstairs.
Oh yeah.
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 I could see that.
Because I know that's a thing that's presented in the movies, but also I know in comics they showed her living there.
hmm
I mean, they showed like basically having a slumber party over Rarities, and it was like it was the boutique.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that one short where she put clothes on all the hamsters.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
that was funny.
But
I was
where-
definitely feeling the Littlest Pet Shop vibes from that one.
I know.
Did you see
but
the one who absolutely loved his scarf? I mean, he was fabulous.
where would she even get that many tiny clothes and why?
She's very Cinderella in that regard.
Very.
Yeah. And I've been binge watching Lola's Pet Shop lately. I
How
heard
is
it's-
it?
I heard it's renewed for a 4th season.
Wow.
I like to describe Lewis Pet Shop as not necessarily like the universal like AIM show that like Friendship is Magic is, where it's basically that family demographic. But describe Lewis Pet Shop as basically a good kids show sort of thing.
Right.
I like to
Oh.
differentiate. There's like nothing wrong against, but I think that's like the target audience is just sort of different from that compared to like Friendship is Magic.
Yeah. I find
Like
it,
in terms of jokes, or?
Yeah, like in jokes and story style and whatnot. It seems to be more like a good, like more definitely targeted towards kids and less sort of that family neutral area.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not saying it's bad. Like I said, it's a good kid show sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd say they solve their problems a lot easier than most of MLP. I don't know. Where was I going with that? I'm so
They're a
tired.
little bit different though, because I mean I don't know. Um, that one seems a little bit more real world as opposed to the pony one, where it's definitely magic every episode it's mentioned.
Yeah, I meant to actually ask about Lois Pet Shop. Have they ever explained how she can talk to animals?
No, they haven't yet.
I was just
I
like,
like the only exposure I've ever had is the episode where she can't talk to the animals anymore. Like she gets a horrible head cold and then she's like, I can't understand you guys, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now.
And
Oh, that's
the song that plays like, why can't she hear us talking, Russell?
And I'm just like, what is going on right now?
yeah.
She's like screaming at the animals, I can't understand you. I'm like,
it actually reminds me of like when I first started watching
Really?
MLP, just gave it a chance one time. The first episode I watched is like uh, the one with Everfree Forest, Fluttershy, and CMC
Oh, yeah.
Stairmaster. I came in watching Stairmaster. I think the episode after that was, I'm trying to remember, it was like green isn't your color. But basically, this is my first like 2 episodes. I was thinking that. So from that, I originally thought that basically Twilight before I started from episode 1, I was thinking Twilight was just like basically a side geek character. Just because think about like that's like the
sea
2 episodes.
level, sea level character importance.
No, basically like Billy from like Power Rangers, where like it's not the lead, but like a support of the team sort of thing.
Oh,
Just
okay.
think about like and like Stairmaster, all she does basically she shows up, says hi, then gets turned to stone.
Yeah, I know.
And then like the next one's basically she's the supplies. So that's like the first 2 episodes. I was like, oh, she's like so like the geeky support character. Then I watched the first one. I was like, oh, she's the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, she's in the opening sequence. This is weird. She's in the middle of the opening sequence. She's right dead center.
Daniel Ingram must be really stretched, I don't know, when it comes to Lilith's Pet Shop, because there's like one song per episode in season 3. Yeah.
But actually, speaking of songs, like I guess we should close up this topic. Is I do actually hope we like Rainbow Rocks actually get the track for Friendship Games released before the movie, just because it actually can actually make some extra predictions basically of what's going to happen based on what songs are in
They
there.
did that with Rainbow Rocks, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like I hope they actually do that like with Rainbow Rocks because
Yeah.
you could tell like you could tell the climax song, you knew that was a climax song. Even though it was like in the middle, it was like right before the middle of the actual tracks, you can tell where that actually was going to be.
Yeah.
It was like I was like, yeah, I was like, we know what you're doing there.
Which song?
It was like the one with the
Music in your heart.
siren singing, and then they had the band off.
Ah, yeah.
That's like one of my favorite songs. Oh my
and
gosh. That
I watched-
animation sequence was like my favorite.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
rewatched that sequence so many times.
The like very subtle rainbow where she gets like her little red strip coming up it, and I just immediately I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I still chuckle though when like they're doing like they're each doing their attacks and whatnot, and then like Fluttershy basically creates Fluttershies and like it's like they burn the one siren. I just always laugh at that part. Cause it's like they're fluffy.
You're so fluffy, I'm gonna die!
Yeah.
That was something I noticed in the song sequence for the preview, actually, is they had that like little rainbow strip and there were 7 of them, and I was like, oh yeah, because they added Sunset Shimmer's red color to it. It looks like a full rainbow now.
Actually, one thing I wonder is like they didn't actually show the opening credits. I think when this preview they had like because I think they would have probably had them basically after Twilight got on the bus and left. I'm pretty sure that's where they're going to have the actual credits. You know, they have the fancy credit opening sequences for each of these.
Yeah.
Because
Wasn't
waiting
there was like a fade to black in between there, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think there was like something awkward, but I think that's probably what it's going to be, just because you always have them, and it would be weird for, like, to go 10 minutes without actually having the opening title sequence for these.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in Rainbow Rocks, it was literally like 3 minutes max, and then the title sequence.
Mhm.
And then the first one, it was just like, bam, right there. It's like, oh. Okay.
Well, I guess if you have any final thoughts, we can wrap this up on the trailer and like the sneak peek and whatnot.
I'm just excited for it to come out.
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
Yeah.
The hiatus will be over soon too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually coming out the 12th.
Yeah.
They reuse the same, like, we have new stuff coming thing again. There's new, like, the sneak peek, like, we have new episodes coming out, the 12th, like, sort of thing. It's like the same Pinkie Pie episode or whatever it was.
Did anybody else notice that they put the 13 episodes on Netflix already?
Oh yeah, I think they announced that a while ago that it was going to be like end of July. They're putting the initial 13 up.
It surprised me though personally because I didn't hear about it. I just saw I got a Netflix notification and it was like season 5 has been put up on the My Little Pony and I was like, what? I have them on my TV.
I think it was an announcement that happened on Equestria Daily, but basically it was part of the Comic-Con news. Because it basically was announced at Comic-Con, but it was basically we were saying those sub-headline sort of things.
Okay.
Because I do remember it was saying like end of July we're getting the first 13. This sort of makes sense because they broke up the season the way they did this time.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. My only predictions for this movie would be, I don't know. I can kind of foresee the ending being Twilight decides to move to Canterlot High or something.
Actually, it would be interesting if the opposite happens where she decides to actually stay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because
And
then
basically
it would
make
be more
friends
like
with
Sunset
Crystal
Shimmer's
Pratt.
filling that role.
I mean, that would be the interesting twist, like you were just saying, where at the end of it, basically Twilight decides to stay and make friends with all the Shadow Bolts.
Maybe. Yeah.
And basically
Spread
Sunset does
friendship
build
that
a-
way.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
think we're
actually
gonna-
basically her quest that's given to her by Sunset and the other main 6 after she's on Nightmare Moon.
Yeah. I don't
Is
think,
to make friends.
I don't think we're gonna see, Ponyville Twilight in this movie.
I was wondering if somehow the two would somehow meet, or maybe one of the Twilights would be
Then
like,
there'll be a rip in the space-time continuum. We can't have that, Jennifer.
Yeah. It'll be like Dumbledore versus Harry Potter thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
who
Yeah, I
knows?
don't-
Maybe we'll see an EQ version of Doctor Who.
Oh
Yeah,
man. I think personally at most they're gonna have her talk with Sunset Shimmer at some point, or she's gonna get the message in the book, and then
Yeah, I think
send the
I
message
agree with you.
back. I mean, we're gonna get a little snippet because we always have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with you in that. I think the message basically at some point after she sees other Twilight, she's gonna be like, other you is sort of causing problems or something when it gets to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And basically she sends up some advice but says like, yeah, I can't exactly come back this time because I might tear a hole in the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
Just because like her other self is actually there now sort of thing.
Right.
I'm still really curious about that, whether she can actually receive messages in that book.
Oh, she can. It was like a major plot point of the last movie.
Yeah, because
Well-
they knew that I think because they knew like to show up at X point for the meet Twilight at X point when they're waiting for her.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
and
she-
what time and all that.
no, well, she sent a message and then Twilight didn't write back. They just kind of stayed by the statue expecting her to come.
Yeah.
We
Well,
didn't
at the
see
very
her
least,
write it, but there's no evidence that she didn't.
There could be a scene where she's like writing to Twilight and she would be like, like, hey, like Princess Twilight, there is another you running around here. What the beep is going on?
Yeah.
Well, they always sort of knew that there'd probably be another her, just they never actually met her. But like
Yeah.
even like let's say the journals aren't like basically going both ways. Like at the very least, she could send a message and then she could like basically write a letter and just toss it through there.
Well, at least
Be like,
Flash
yeah,
has some. At least
what?
Flash has a normal relationship to chase.
In theory.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's
Actually, want to be
plot
honest.
that I hope doesn't come to pass. Like if Flash and Crystal Prep Twilight. I don't know. That just seems like just an annoyance waiting to happen.
That's actually one thing I want to bring up. It'll be interesting actually if Sunset actually gets back together with Earth Flash.
Why did they even get together in the first place?
Remember, like
She mentions in Rainbow Rocks that she used him to gain popularity or some such.
Yeah, but why would Flash even go out with her? I mean, she's clearly been a bitch for like 3 or 4 years, so why would he even go out with her?
Well, actually,
many girls play guitar.
If you look at like, I'm one of those weird people that looks at the backgrounds all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The photos of each of the crownings for the dance thing, like the first photo, Sunset Shimmer is very cute, and she's like almost shy and timid that she got like crowned as Princess of the Fall Formal.
Yeah.
And then as she goes, she gets worse and worse. And like
Yeah.
overcome with power. Like she really wants to be like ruler of the school.
Right.
So if she had met him immediately after coming to the human world and then used that relationship to try and gain popularity over the years, that would probably make more sense in terms of how she sort of progressed down that path.
Yeah. I can understand that.
I would have liked it if they worded it maybe she dated him to seem more normal. You know, because I don't know, it still doesn't sit with me that they don't expand upon the fact that, I mean, Twilight being interested in a human is weird. I know that Spike is interested in rarity, but yeah, this like you see with other cartoons, other films that they do accept that these relationships can't work, but in Equestria Girls, it just seems like they ignore it, you know. And,
Well, I think the main factor for that is that she does turn into an actual human when she crosses over.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Spike where he's a dog and then Rarity is a human, and then in the other world he's a dragon and she's a pony. Because I mean that's more of an obvious it's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they made them human when they crossed sort of like gives it more of a like believability, I guess.
yeah, but it still doesn't. It still doesn't, mean that it should happen.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it should happen, and it probably shouldn't have happened because it was definitely sort of like a toss-up to just add it in the first place. Because she's been totally fine for the past 3 seasons before the first movie, where she didn't, she was very independent. She didn't need anybody. It never came up before,
I know. No, to be honest, I wouldn't mind the relationship if they would just acknowledge that it's weird. I mean, if they just had some hint that, them being together would be strange.
With Sunset Shimmer, they sort of mentioned it when they talked to her about it in the second movie, but like, I know what you're saying. It's just kind of it's sort of like nodded at. I think it's just for like the fact that they're in high school and the kids that are going to be watching it. They want to play that sort of, huh?
It's like basically just a standard forced romantic love interest sort of thing.
Yeah, and since Twilight's the main character, that's usually the person that they force it upon anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I wouldn't mind like Flash and the relationship if it actually was more than basically. I think I forget, somebody from like Nostalgia Critic says like calls it a fry, where it's basically the forced romantic love interest. A-Rod or whatever. Basically it's sort of like that where I could look at his character and be like, yeah, he's sort of this standard love interest. There's not really anything special. Like just the way they treat him there, he actually does have some character behind him. They sort of built that up, but like they don't use that actual relationship too much. It's just sort of like, yeah, they have sort of feelings for each other. Yeah, they have feelings for each other. Now on to the actual story.
Yeah, just to play up the romantic appeal for that. And then, they don't use it to their advantage. They don't tie it to anything else. It's just for the cutesy moments, and then everybody's off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am
Well,
glad
I
they
guess
gave him more character development, though. Especially in the second movie. I was glad for that, personally. I
Yeah.
just felt like he was a cardboard cutout of, like, the perfect ideal, and then, like, shuffled around.
Yeah.
I felt like in the second movie they made him even more pointless.
Really?
Yeah,
well, just because he had basically no screen time in the second one.
Right.
yeah, he had
He was
nothing to
basically
do.
under a trance for most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think though he got more diverse characterization in the second one, I think, but still my favorite moment with him is from the first one, after like basically Twilight's like the no 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 no, and then runs off, and he's like, you could have just said no once.
It was sad.
Because I just find it so hilarious because it actually was a good funny moment.
Yeah.
I watched it with my little sister, and she was like, "Aw," and I was like, "Yeah."
That was sad though.
It was a little bit sad because you're like, "Oh, he's actually genuinely interested from being forced into that role just on screen." But the way his character was brought out, it was like, "Oh, that's kind of sad. I can relate to those feelings."
Mm.
But with that said, I guess that covers our episode bonus from scripted on Friendship Games sneak preview. Soon we'll
Hooray.
actually have the actual full episode to discuss. Oh,
Yay.
movie, as it were. Well, I guess everyone, this is it. You want to say your sign off?
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Hold on to ideas.
See y'all.